Hey, what's up, everybody? So XRP decided to break down a little bit, exactly what we were talking about, right? It kind of looked like some kind of descending triangle where you start off with big oscillation, right? And then the volatility slows down, down, down. And usually when you get into this area, it's usually going to break to the downside, right? But there was a chance where this, if it didn't chop around so much, there was a chance where this could have came up like this and had a three-wave move for a B wave, but then it would have resulted in a C wave anyways. So it's better if we just kind of get it over with now. That way we don't have to get up and pull my heartstrings and make me believe we're going to $1 million and then boom, we come down, right? No, I'm just, but seriously, like, this is normal, right? This is all good. Let's take a look at our zone here. So you can see we have a pretty significant support level that's been built. I mean, you can see all of this in here, right? So we haven't even touched it yet, right? Or at least I don't think we haven't really touched it yet, basically. So I would imagine, probably a little bit more downside, without taking this low. We don't want to take that low. We kind of want to get down here, maybe flatten out a little bit, start to rise up, and then start to get out of there. So that's kind of how I would imagine it playing out. So let's see if that's the case. We're not going to know until it happens. So that's kind of the main idea. What other ideas are there? Well, this could still pop, back to the upside like this, right? If this pops back to the upside like that, you kind of have like a shoulder, maybe a head, and then maybe another shoulder in here before you continue on. So it could be that this could be the end here. This could be very close to the end. You have a three-wave move. Boom, 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 right? You got 1, 2, 3 there. You also have, okay, so we have 3 down, we have 3 up, and we have 3 back down. Now the question is this 3-wave back down, is that wave finished? I don't know. We'll have to see. It doesn't appear like it's completely finished. Let's zoom in. Yeah, I don't think it's quite there yet. I mean, you do have 5 though. You got 5. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you do have a 5-wave move. You did break below this, right? So you're grabbing that liquidity if it was going to take it back up. But you could see, you have a head and shoulders here. So what is the measured move of that? And then we'll count the waves in this 5th wave, supposedly. So let's just take the head here, and then we'll bring it back down. So you could see we're still looking at like 219 or so, according to the measured move. So if I take a horizontal line and I put it this way, I go back up to the 6-hour chart, I look left, and I see where the confluence is in that drop. And you can see it's perfectly aligning with all of this support in here. So this is a good spot, 220, 219. Right? It wouldn't surprise me at all. We head down there. And that hopefully that shall be the low, because then you're getting too close to this low. We definitely don't want to break that one. So yeah, and if we make it down there, that'll be a good thing, because it would make this 3-wave shape more proportional. Because right now you have this massive A, very shallow B, and a very shallow C. So it doesn't look proportional. So if this came down a little bit more, it would be more proportional with A. So hopefully that helps. Let's take a line here, and I'm not going to use the big wick. I'm just going to take it from here to there. And then I'm going to take this from here to there. And you can see, actually, let me put that up a little bit. You can see that would also gets us down, kind of down in that 216, 220 area. So, yeah, definitely a lot of confluence between 215, 220. So we're at 225 now, so another 5-10 cent drop. And I think we'd be in business for a continuation, because it's really about Bitcoin starting to get back up, or I'm sorry, back, you know, in a corrective phase. And you can see this wave has been just marching its way up with no correction. So it appears that that's what we're about to get. And this correction could be a while, right? This could take a little while. So we could go into a phase of, correcting. Well, the altcoins have been correcting, right? So if we look at XRP again, it's been correcting for a while. I mean, it's correcting, it's correcting back up, right? So we're kind of just in the middle here, where Bitcoin had a more impulsive wave, a more demanding wave, right? And but you could see XRP has been correcting this whole time. Well, if we put, let's do this here, and let's put a vertical line right there. All right, and then let's get rid of the fibs. So you can see the divergence here. Right here, Bitcoin decides to go up. Right here, XRP decides to go down. So if Bitcoin decides to go down, which I believe it should, does that mean XRP is going to go down even worse? Or does that mean XRP, since it's been going down and Bitcoin's been going up, it's closer to the finish line of this corrective move? That's a good question, because I think that would be the case, where as we start to correct, for Bitcoin, XRP had already corrected, but it's probably got a little bit more to correct. Then as you get these retraces in Bitcoin, because when Bitcoin corrects, it's not going to just correct in a straight line down. You're going to have chop. And as you chop down, as you chop up, that chop up could be a big impulsive move for XRP, right? And then the chop down could be a pullback, and then the chop up could be a continuation. So, and it can converge, right? So you can see it's diverging, the price is diverging. It could then converge where the price goes up, but and then it starts to level out, and then we reevaluate. So because they're not really in unison with each other at the moment. Bitcoin's more impulsive, and then same thing with same thing with THETA. I got all three on the chart. You can see THETA, same situation, right? You got this three-wave move. You got a three-wave move. It looks very corrective. It looks bullish, right? It looks like it's going to break to the upside. At some point, it could keep going down for the next week or so even. But, until it finishes out. It could finish down here and then go sideways for a week before going back up, right? But I believe it looks like it's getting poised to go back up, and it looks like Bitcoin is poised to kind of chill out a little bit, right? So, but the thing is Bitcoin doesn't have to necessarily flag out in that sense. It could just range like this, where it could just kind of do 3 up, 3 down, 3 back up, 3 back down, right? And before it goes up, and then that's kind of your ABC. So you're kind of in this range, and you don't have a lot of downward pressure, but more of a consolidation that allows the alts to kind of chill out a little bit. right? Because the last thing we want is Bitcoin to have a big correction down and the altcoins just follow with it and then lose their supports. I mean, that would just be a big kind of like a question mark, and that could happen. And if it did happen, um, what would be the solution to that? Well, the only thing I can see, honestly, would be like 3 waves up, and then we would come down and 3 waves down, and it would be a big catastrophic move down. Probably be below $2, and then we would shoot up very aggressively in 5. So it would be 3 up, 3 down, 5 up, or it could be 3 up, depending if it's an ABC or WXY. So at that point, let's hope that we would, if this is the case, let's hope we would flag out and continue into new all-time high. Otherwise, you would have 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then you would still need 3 waves back down before you get that big move up and it becomes a major range, right? Let's hope that doesn't happen. But it could, I'm just kind of explaining how these things can play out here. I don't think that would play out like that. I'm more in tune with this coming down a little bit more, finishing, flattening out a little bit, and then continuing. So we'll see how that plays. Let's take a look at. You could see XLM hasn't broke down like XRP. You could see it's kind of like in this low volatility situation where it kind of slows down and then it goes down, right? That's kind of what it seems like. It seems like there's more downside to come. Ethereum looks better. It looks bullish. You could see you got 3 waves down. You got 3 waves up. So you would expect a 3-wave move back down before you go up. You have W, X, Y. It's a flat, and then we go up, and there's your range, right? So this means we probably have a move down. That's what it would suggest. Now, you can see there's 3 here. Obviously, the other idea would be that this is an ABC, it's finished. And then you have a 1, 2, 1, 2. And then this somehow goes up for another. I just don't really see that right now. You do have a cup and a handle. So let's recognize that too. It does look pretty bullish where it is. I would say if we take the low out, then yeah, it's going to be a 3-wave move down. If we hold the low, you can say, you got this 3-wave move there, 3-wave move there, and 3-wave move there. It's very shallow and awkward, but it works. And then you got like a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you kind of break out, and you kind of have like shoulder, head, shoulder, or a cup and a handle, because you have resistance, resistance, resistance. You're cupping into the resistance. You're cupping into the resistance. That's very bullish, right? That's bullish. So that doesn't mean you're going to break out right now. We could come back down and cup up again and create some type of ascending triangle, right? And that's bullish as well. So we could create an ascending triangle, which would be interesting. So definitely going to focus more on Ethereum, since Ethereum definitely looks like a leader. It looks good. I definitely wouldn't buy it this moment. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum compared to like XLM, you could see XLM's kind of droopy. It's drooping down. Not just that, but like XRP, you can see it's drooping down. Now, Sunday, May 11th, let's go to ETH. And then we'll put Sunday, May 11th. There you go. And you can, let's put up XRP. So there's the difference, right? Ethereum is sideways and strong. XRP is also strong, but it's flagging out. It's a little bit more corrective. Now, to be fair, XRP had a monumental move to the upside, unlike Ethereum, right? So look at the move. Look at all of this sideways right here while Ethereum was moving up. As it moved up, it topped out. As it topped out and it crashed, then it retraced. As it retraced, that's when XRP exploded, right? And then as it exploded, as it corrected, that's when Ethereum crashed. So they're both on opposite pages, right? So one's strong, one's weak. Then it flips back, you know. But what's the stronger one overall? It's XRP. Why? Because when you zoom all the way out over the last 7 years, XRP is on the verge of something monumental, whereas Ethereum is on, you can only look back a couple years, maybe 3 years, right? So let's zoom out here. So XRP is just one giant consolidation box, right? Where Ethereum is a smaller consolidation box. So which one's going to have more gas in the tank when it breaks out? The big range or the small range? I'll let you decide that. But yeah, Ethereum looks amazing because you have 3 down, you have 3 up, and you have 3 back down. And you have this very strong impulse that doesn't even look finished. So if we could get up here and flag out and go, that would be kind of the way I would envision it. Something like that. Very simple. So other than that, Theta Fuel, not looking so, I mean, it's holding up. It's nothing, you know, when Theta Fuel starts getting exciting, you know, and when it starts getting a little bit more mature, we'll definitely be talking more about it. But right now, it's just kind of hanging out. You still got 3 up. You got 3 down. We're waiting for that bigger move up. So that could take a little while. So, other than that, when you look at some random altcoins, you know, you got this impulse, you got a 3-way pullback, you got a 5-way move off the low. The idea here is for it to flag out and then continue its retrace. And that would line up with Bitcoin flagging out. That would line up with XRP finishing down, right? A little bit further down, maybe 220. Because look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And if you draw a line like this, like remember this chart right here. Remember that. We have A, B, and C. We haven't yet tested the line. And I don't know if it was on the near chart. It was probably a different chart. But let me just put this right there. And I'll put this right there. It's a beautiful structure. It's a broadening diag, right? This is a diagonal. It appears. So that means what? You want, if that's a wave 1, we want a wave 2. So wave 2 probably has a little bit more downside to come. And let's test this line here. And that would line up, and not just near. You could do this with any chart. I'm just picking near as an example, but it doesn't matter which chart you look at, really. I would say somewhere around there. Let this come back down, and then you have kind of this 3-wave move down. I'm not sure if you're going to need 4 and 5. We'll see. But Same thing with AVAX. It's the same kind of thing, right? Let's just have this kind of come down a little bit. Dog looks finished. It looks like this is going to come down. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you got 5 waves. 1, 2, 3. You got 5. Looks good. This looks corrective, so it looks like it could come down. It could come up in one more. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it could be done. So just be aware of that. But it looks like it needs a correction. Some kind of box up here that chills out the price so it could continue higher. Exactly the same with AVAX, literally the same. Same exact thing. Same thing with Filecoin, same thing with Algo. They're all the same. It looks like it has to come down a little bit more. But it doesn't have to. Like, for example, Algo still hasn't broken the low yet. So it still has the potential to do two things. One, it could just keep doing this, an ascending triangle before it breaks down, and then it goes up, and then you have your 3. Or this could come up in a B wave and break the top, get everybody bullish, and then you have this A, or this A, B, and then C, right? And then continue higher. And it's kind of like a flat. So you just have to be aware of these. Sometimes you get very bearish, people go short, and then you get a squeeze, and then it brings the price up, and then it goes short. And it creates this 3-wave move up. 3-wave down, 3-wave up, then 5 down. So eventually, people are going to figure it out. People are, it's not incredibly complicated to identify wave structure. I've been doing it on YouTube since October of 23. So hopefully it's helping. But yeah, look at Filecoin. You got this diagonal 5-wave move, and I just don't really like this correction. I don't like it because it's not incredibly clear. Like, we can't get beautiful wave structure like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you get a 3-wave pullback. But the 3-wave pullback looks funny. It looks like this. And it makes you think, well, it doesn't look finished, so it's got to come down more. But then it kind of swoops up, and then it comes down. And then it creates the illusion that this is A, B, C, when in reality, the B wave is going to be more complex. I've seen that happen many times. So probably the best thing to anticipate is sideways chop with a downward drift. I think that's the best way to characterize it. So it's probably going to chop sideways, probably go down a little bit, but I think as it consolidates, it's going to charge back up. With not just all of them. ICP is definitely different. It's got this 1, 2, 3-wave shape, right? So if this is 1, 2, 3, you have 3 up, 3 down, right? You would imagine it wouldn't go up in 5. Monero had a big dump to the downside. And yeah, I'm not holding Monero anymore. Not yet. I'd love to get back in, but not right now. So SHIB, I'm still holding my SHIB, but man, if we break, here's the problem. I'm probably gonna have to let it go because this looks like an ascending triangle. My entry is like down here. So if this breaks down, I mean, I really don't want to, but I'll be forced to close it. So, but anyways, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a beautiful structure here. And I really like Shib's impulse. It looks very direct, you know. It doesn't look like there's question marks. But I just don't like what's going on here. It seems like volatility slowing down. This looks like it's going to break down. That's just what it seems like to me. You know, I've seen this story many times before. I feel like it's happened with THETA. It happened with THETA back over here, where we identified that, where it was kind of like this, right? And then what happened was volatility slowed down, and then we entered this little spot, and then bam, it was lights out. So it's not going to be like that. It's not going to be that severe. Remember, it's a small structure here. But it could be, you know, we could chop around a little bit and then drop down. That's what I think is playing out here. So we could make money going short if things... I don't like short trading unless I'm in a downtrend, and you can say, well, we are in a downtrend, but you know, I don't, you know, to me the downtrend ended here, and I feel like even if this comes down, I feel like it's gonna go back and retrace. So, but if this has to, you know, come down here, and then what that would do is that would give that three-wave shape. So that would bring us down, but also give us that three-wave shape. Hopefully it doesn't take the low, and then it circles back. So that's basically it, really. I mean, you can see where we're at here. We have all of this support up here, and we're basically hanging on support, but it looks very weak. It looks very weak. So let's zoom in. You know, you also have, oh man, you got, well, there's 3, right? And then this looks like it could be 3 here. And you have 3 here, right? So you have, well, it's really 3 down like that, 3 up, and then maybe 3 back down, breaking this low without taking out my stop. That would be nice. And then a continuation up. So hopefully that's the case. We shall see, but it definitely looks a little bearish right now, I have to be honest. And I don't even know if I want to ride this thing down, to be honest. Definitely looks bearish. Because if I flip it, look at the difference. When I flip it down, you're cupping down. You're cupping down. That's not good. When you flip it right side up, this is what you want to see. Right? You're cupping into the resistance, into the resistance. You're cupping into the resistance. You're cupping in. You're cupping in. Right? It wants to go. It wants to go. It wants to go. And then eventually it'll go. And that's a move down, right? And you can see you have a shoulder, you have a head, you have a shoulder. You have a double shoulder, and a head. So, I mean, and volatility slowing down. That looks like it's going to drop. I mean, I've seen this story before. Now, if it doesn't drop and it goes skyrocketing into the upside, hey, I will jump up and down and be like, yo, I was wrong. I'm so happy to be wrong. But it looks kind of, and here's the thing. Bitcoin needs to flag out. So if Bitcoin needs to flag out and we expect it to go down after its 7-wave move, then you would have to imagine SHIB and everything else got to break down too a little bit. Now, it's not going to change the big picture, right? Because the big picture is ultra bullish. The big picture is we have a 1 year 3-wave pullback. And if this has to come down just a little bit before continuing up, hey, it is what it is. But I do believe that this is going to be a base, and we're going to get back into our retrace, maybe flag out a little bit, and then break out into new all-time highs. Because, you know, if that's your resistance in here, like you're cupping in, so we want it to cup in to the resistance. We don't want it to cup down to support. We want to cup in to resistance. So on the bigger time frames, the bulls are in control. On the smaller time frames, the bears are in control. And that's with everything. So we can look at Link. Let's take a look at Chainlink here. Chainlink, literally the same. Literally the same. You got a diag, and it looks like this is going to fall down. But that could be a good short. And it appears that it would break the low based on how big this is. Let's take a measured move. Well, first, let's do it with SHIB. If we take a measured move from our descending triangle, if that's how we're going to play it, right? And let's say this moves back up, and then it moves back down, and then it moves back up, and then it drops like that. Right? How big is the drop? It's going to be pretty damn big. It's going to be very big, and it's going to completely take out my stop, or it's going to take out my entry. Right? It's going to take out my entry, and I will lose money. So that's why I have to fix it before that happens. If it does happen. So we could literally come way down here. And that's what happens most of the time, guys. And that's what screws up so many people, is that it'll bottom, it'll kind of go back up, people will buy it, it'll go up, it'll continue up, they'll hold it, but then what happens is the price comes all the way back down to the low. It happens all of the time. All of the time. Right? That's why a lot of things I got rid of. As soon as I identified this, I got rid of mostly everything. So I'm not holding any trades right now. I'm not holding any XRP. I'm not holding anything. Except for SHIB and a couple others. I'm holding Optimum, I think is. And I think THETA. I'm holding that. But I'm going to get rid of it. Most likely if this breaks down. It looks bearish, you know, on the small time frames. So it looks like it's actually going to break now. I mean, it looks like it's dangling by a thread here. So we got to be careful. Now, what else it could be? Well, it could be a Wyckoff schematic where you kind of play up, you kind of play down, and then you kind of go into a spring, and then you kind of go up and then go. But I mean, it could be that. It could be the case, right? It could also be that this is your spring in here, right? We have a spring, and then we come back up and then go. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's just got to flag out a little bit, honestly. So, anyways, same thing with H-bar, right? They all look very similar. Now, H-bar has a better looking 3-wave shape. It already took out the low, and it's kind of hanging in here. So, if it kind of falls a little bit more, you know, it'll give us an even better looking shape. So, we could be close to the end here. Now for Bitcoin, you know, you had this move down, you had a 3-wave move up, and then you want an equal wave down. So I would think that would be 3. Definitely think it's going to go up for 3, and it's probably going to go down for end of 5. So Total 3. Yeah, total 3. To me, is probably going to be some kind of flat. Definitely has a different. I mean, I like how it cupped really nicely up into here, but now it's kind of flagging out. So I would expect that flag to finish, and then that would be a 3-wave move down. So you have 3 down, you have 3 up, 3 back down, then go. So we could be very close to the end here. We'll see. But look at it. It's dumping. It's dumping right now. It's still dumping. It's dumping. It's dumping. It's dumping. So there it goes. All right. Well, last one, ADA. There's ADA. It's also dumping. So maybe let's look for some shorts opportunities. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I could be totally wrong, so always know that. But from my perspective, ADA, along with other things, very bullish. You have a very beautiful impulse. You have 3 waves down. You have 3 waves up. And then you also have 3 waves back down, or you can count it as 5. But you have a completed move, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. That's a 1. So now you need a flag out for a 2. That's the big picture here. So boom, boom, and then we're going to move down, right? So we expect this move down, but then once that move finishes, it's going to be pretty amazing. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how that flies to the upside. If you're holding a spot position, I would not sell at all. I would be hodling. I would be buying. I would be hodling. I would be accumulating. I would be hodling, right? But if you're trading leverage, I wouldn't want to be long at this very moment. Just FYI. So, even Matic here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Yeah, even Matic looks like it needs to come down. So anyway, that'll do it. I will catch you guys. Remember, not financial advice, just trying to figure things out through wave structure and explain how these waves can play out, really, based on what they're doing and the structures they're creating. So, anyways, I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.